everybody. It's the cast of Dragon Age Season 2 Resurgence, and we're all talking about Session 3, uh, when we went to Orlais.
Yes.
Yay!
And we had a guest star.
Yes. Ray came as Gwenaëlle. What were your thoughts of that?
Oh, so great.
That was so awesome. That was so cool.
It was really fun to RP with him. It was really stressful though. It was really stressful to hang out with Ray.
Aw.
Because Ray is so nice, and I'm trying to rob him.
His reaction was the best.
I know. It's like, wait, why do you want to know that?
Can I break into the office? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
man.
I had a conversation with Ray months before the campaign started because I was telling him about Gwenaëlle participating, having some sort of hand in the narrative, and he specifically was trying to figure out ways that he could help. He really wanted to help the group a lot.
Oh, I know.
He really did.
You're so mean.
There is one way you can help.
So when he was talking about that, I was thinking to myself, well, that's assuming you trust the group, and and number two, like I had to. One thing about Ray is love him to death, but I wanted to make it very clear to him that you can help the group. Just be aware that this is their story. This is a next generation of hero story. The heroes of Ferelden got to tell their story in season 1. And you guys definitely can assist. So, so we ended up compromising, and he said he wanted a way to like kind of keep tabs on them in a helpful way. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, why don't we have someone that you're connected with go with them? And I was like, what about Connor? And that was why Connor ended up becoming an NPC, because that was basically Gwenaëlle's tie to the group from afar.
Yeah.
And with Nathan's ability to transcend people's dreams, that just worked really well with Connor.
Yeah. I did wonder at the time when that happened, like, oh, was that something that just kind of spurred the moment? Or because it seemed to come like out of nowhere. Just, oh, why doesn't Connor go with you? So I wasn't sure if that was planned in advance.
Connor, when I ended season 1, Connor was one of the biggest candidates for returning in season 2 because he would have been a lot older. He's coming of age. He has ties with the previous group, the previous heroes, so he's got that. And it's a great way to define who he is because you don't really get to know him that well in the Dragon Age games. And because of the experience that he actually had directly with the previous campaign, I wanted to see where his character would go. And I thought that just the fact that he's a young person that's figuring himself out. You guys are pretty much going to dictate what he's going to become.
Oh, cool.
So.
Oh wow, no pressure.
Really cool.
That's
no
crazy.
pressure.
Connor's freaking me out, to be honest. Like I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a good
Something
reason why
happened.
Connor's freaking you out.
I have thoughts.
I do too. I have thoughts.
Okay.
Oh man.
I definitely have thoughts. So.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
But sometimes I like to be different, so I'll just say I have no thoughts now.
Aw.
Go with it. I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
Well, let me ask you this. As a player, not as Cedric, as a player, are you frightened or are you intrigued, Kevin? Like, what's...
I'm intrigued with this.
You're intrigued.
With
Cedric, he's frightened.
I'm scared.
Keep that kid away from me.
Like, down, I love Cedric, but I don't like if that turns bad, I'm gonna have like a very hard time. Like I don't know how Cedric will react, but me, it's like, oh no, please don't do anything. But
I don't want to cut down this kid, but I will.
But yeah, I do like that Connor joined.
Mm-hmm.
I find that to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Cedric or Hugh not telling Theo what was going on with that, and I was like, oh no, that just bumped up my worry.
Yeah.
Theo, I was surprised that Theo and Cedric ended up having that moment, because again, it was mostly Cedric interacting for the most part with, I'm sorry, it's Hugh mostly interacting with Cedric. So the fact that Theoben had a Hugh moment was really cool, and just establishing that friendship with them. But even then, Hugh, just for whatever reason, is keeping very tight-lipped about why he became tranquil, which I'm sure everybody's wondering what is the story behind Hugh becoming tranquil. And the ironic thing is, if anyone is going to get Hugh to share that information, it's going to be Cedric.
Somebody doesn't
Cedric doesn't want to know.
Yeah.
The irony is Cedric doesn't want to know.
Yeah.
So the question is that ever going to come out? If Cedric never asks Hugh, or if will will that information ever be revealed? Is what I'm curious about.
Yeah.
I mean, us as a group did have that conversation of, are we ever going to ask Hugh kind of like what happened, why he's tranquil? And at no point did we ever guess it'd be Theo who would have that initial conversation about it. So that kind of surprised me as well. To be honest.
that you asked the question in the first place.
Yeah, but I mean, it was at a time when Theo was trying to work out the group, trying to understand everybody's motivations and what they were thinking, and of course, eavesdropping helped. A lot.
I loved that. I loved it.
And so why Hugh? I guess I'm just curious. Why Hugh?
Because the biggest question mark for him, because it came before Cedric's reveal as well, his biggest question mark was Cedric, and he could tell that the person closest to Cedric at that moment was Hugh, and he put his trust in Hugh, that Hugh would be a good judge of character, because you could already tell, even without asking him, that whether or not you would test he was tranquil, that he is just a on-the-face kind of person. He doesn't answer dishonestly.
Right.
So he wanted to get it straight from Hugh as to, do you think this person is trustworthy? Yeah. And then he has a curiosity as well about substances and kind of what ingredients make those things together. And so the paint mixtures kind of piqued his interest as well.
Sure.
And the thing with Tranquil in general is that they normally try to be very, like, if you ask them something, like, they try to be as agreeable as possible.
Yeah.
So, but even then, of course, they're self-preserving. They're not going to do something that harms themselves. They normally wouldn't do something to harm other people unless they saw logic to it.
Yeah.
And they certainly wouldn't hide anything. And it's not out of guilt. They, like, if he was hiding something, it's not out of guilt. It's out of at least his perceived necessity to hide to keep something like that secret. So.
Sure.
Yes, because of how he is, Theo trusts Hugh, because there's not much not to trust with the way that character is. So that was why he had that conversation. And it was something that surprised me as a player as well, which is always kind of cool.
Yeah.
I liked seeing Cogs again.
Yeah.
Cogs.
Yeah, Cogs.
I love Cogs.
I don't know why, but I got a strange sense of deja vu with that.
Weird.
Yeah, the whole thing with Cogs and the airship, and as I was talking with Ray about it, like this is something huge. If Cogs succeeds in basically allowing airships to be a thing in Thetis, not just the Tempest Dream, but like every single major nation has their own fleet of airships. Yeah. That's going to be huge. You probably will not see the impact of that fully this campaign, but you definitely will in season 3 or season 4 if such a thing occurs. Yeah. You definitely will see the.
That was why Theo's reaction was like, "Oh my god, this is huge! This is like, yeah." He understood the magnitude of what Cogs was trying to accomplish as well. And as well, it was great to see some depth with his conversation with Malcolm as well. That was surprising.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't expect Malcolm to have as much screen time as he has. So I'm really excited to explore more with that.
Yeah, there was some interesting points that he and Theo had in common that I wasn't expecting.
Cool.
Anything else?
Yeah, I liked how Kenna had the argument in the moment with Gwenille where she's like, "No, my bear, yeah,
Yes.
he has to stay with me." It was so Gwenille was going so far out of his way to make the bear as comfortable as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was so cute.
That was so cute.
I
I
knew he
think
was
that there
gonna
was
get that stable. Oh, sorry.
No worries. I was just commenting that we did a lot of really good character development on that session.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, and there were a lot of big reveals, so that was
Yeah.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think they've really been fully addressed yet. Even after
No.
we just did session 4, they haven't really been
Mhm.
addressed. But the bombs were dropped.
Yes.
Session
Mhm.
3.
Yeah.
Yes, they were.
So
Kevin, you were about to say something, I think.
I don't remember.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
And
But something that comes to mind is that secret conversation that I had with Halisair. I felt like that was very, very Cedric, because to this point now, even we're done with session 4, Halisair has been like his go-to person. Like, okay, I trust this person because I mean, like, we share a bond. Like, it's like the warrior bond, like what you said with in your session 1 with the Grey Warden. I can't remember her name.
Sanaya.
But it's like
yeah.
you said, a female warrior bond, but it doesn't matter about gender. I think Cedric considers it a warrior bond, and
Every life is important.
yeah. And given his background, he was like, all right, you're gonna be like sleeping like in the same room as a mage. Like, if anything weird happens, like it was just kind of like he wanted to do it just to like say like, hey, if you get into trouble, I can like just call for me and I will back you up. I felt like that was a great like point for Cedric, and like showing what his like commitment was to people who he trusted.
I have a question for Cedric. Like, what was the point that made Cedric want to tell the group, what he told them?
Good question.
Yeah.
You mean at the end?
Yeah, when he explained that he was a Templar and that he was being wanted and all that stuff.
Well, it was just because like he knew that this was gonna be like a more, or not a permanent thing, but a very long road ahead, and secrets don't like they tend to blow up in people's faces, and so he likes to be very upfront, and just so like he can get it all off of his chest, so like it wouldn't blow up in his face later, and it can start like he could start building trust if he didn't tell them, but then if they ever got into that situation where they found out that, oh, you're wanted and you're a Templar, like what the heck, man? All
It
that
looks
trust that he had built
looks
up
worse on him. Yeah.
would go down, and he's figured he's already at like a I kind of know you, but I don't really know you point. So it can't. I mean, it could go lower, but it's only going to go up from there. So he was like, I'm just going to lay it all out now. Like,
I was just wondering if there was like a moment or a point in the session that either you as a player or Cedric kind of decided, yeah, actually this needs to come out now rather than like next session or whatever.
It came out, or the idea came to me or Cedric when when we were just all in that group. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, we had been in groups before, but like we were making plans, and it was like, all right, this is what we need to do, and like all of that stuff.
Right.
That's when it like really clicked to Cedric. It's like, all right, it's gonna be a long road ahead of
Yeah.
us. I'm gonna just have to say this because it's only gonna hinder my relationships going forward.
Sure.
I really enjoyed when Hugh was talking to Theoben and he gets to the line, "Perhaps you and Cedric aren't that different after all."
Oh,
Like,
I
Loved that.
yeah, my brain at that point was like, owned. Yeah, he's got you.
What did you say, Hannah? You said what? Your brain?
My brain was like, owned. Yeah, he's got you. Dropped some serious knowledge there. Yeah.
But I think what was really cool is that I mean, clearly, even though Hugh does seem to have some sort of bond with Cedric, he has no problem opening up to the other characters. Like Theoben was asking him some very good questions, and he was answering them.
Yeah.
He was only keeping certain details just because he wasn't sure if Cedric wanted everything to be spilled. But I don't think it's very clear that Hugh is interested in forming friendships with the rest of the group as well. So I thought that was really cool to see Theoben reaching out to him the way that he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? Might happen more in the future.
Yay!
Maybe. Yeah, because I don't think there's been that many. We had one small Halasair Hugh moment. We had, Hugh and Andrea had a little bit of a moment too. I don't think there hasn't been much with Hugh and Kenna.
No.
Yet.
Not that much.
Not that much. And I think Razakale is starting to get comfortable enough that she might start interacting more with the other characters too. So she's starting to branch out. But.
I will say that if the group like asked Cedric to ask Hugh, he would probably do it. He would be very hesitant and reluctant because he really doesn't want to know. But if the group was like, hey, this is like, we're all kind of like worried about this, like, like.
I would never ask.
Yeah.
Realistically, I don't know how many of them would ask.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying.
I think
like,
the only
that
way
this is
that
what-
any of us might really ask if it was, oh, we know he knows something that might save the world. We need to know this. So
What makes you think that would happen? What makes you think that would happen?
That's the question.
I'm also not gonna ask about why he's a tranquil ever. Like, I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah.
The question,
Alice, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
I was
Hannah.
gonna say, the question that I was pondering is, do we need to know? Like, this is who Hugh is now.
Yeah.
Like, do we want to necessarily be judged on our past, regardless of what it
Yeah,
is?
it's true.
Very true.
So that's just what I would wonder.
Yeah.
Do we want
That's a
our
really good point.
opinions?
Yeah.
Do we
Yeah.
want our opinions to change of Hugh when he's been nothing aside from helpful and kind to us up to now?
Right.
Yeah, which is, and it's you want to be as realistic as possible, but at the same time, I'm sure a lot of the viewers would be super upset if we never find out that question. Which as a GM, I'm aware of that. Which means that as a GM, when there are those kinds of questions that you wonder whether or not the players would actually bring it up and actually ask him, as a GM, I have ways that can force the issue. So it's just one of those things where, for those of you who are watching, don't worry. I'm sure before the campaign ends, you will learn everything there is to know about all of the characters, all of the PCs. I do have ways to force the issue. It's just I don't have to do that now.
Yeah.
Timing-wise, I don't have to.
So ominous. I have ways.
But you will find out. I'm pretty sure you'll find out everything about Hugh. So don't worry about that.
I
Whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
What did you say, Kevin?
I agree with Hannah. It's like, especially as in Cedric's mind. I've spoken to Hannah and maybe a couple other people about this, but yeah, like Cedric just doesn't want to know because he's afraid of what he's done, and he feels that he's already been punished more so than for whatever he's done. And if it turned out he's like, oh, I did blood magic and like killed a bunch of people, Cedric would have such a hard time like trusting and like forcing himself to not enact his own judgment on Hugh. So it's kind of like a double jeopardy thing.
You're afraid that you would see him differently.
Yeah.
See him differently and or possibly take action.
And it's not necessarily fair almost to judge Hugh because exactly, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because as far what's he done to us personally, I think so.
Just out of curiosity, who would, if you were to play with one of the other heroes, who would you want to play with?
David.
Next? David. Okay. Wow. Okay.
No thanks. I love David, but no. Let's wait here.
Let's wait. Let's not go to David right away.
Yeah,
So who would be you agree with David too? How about you, Andrea or Kimberly? How about you?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I really love the way David RPs, but you know, I'm really scared of that for obvious reasons.
For obvious reasons.
I don't want to get stabbed in the neck, or shield bashed. So, no, Lealton would be great.
Yeah.
Lucky Jack would be great.
Lucky Jack's so great anyway, but I also just, you know, I think it would be cool to meet Lealton for Andrea.
Yeah, sure.
Not even just because of the thing, just because of what she wants to steal from them.
Honestly, I'm curious to see what Lealton is like as the left hand.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see how Lucky Jack role plays that.
Yeah, that was a very interesting turn to find out that was the position that he ended up getting.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, he is Andrastian. He is a rogue, and he's got quite a resume, considering how he's the hero of Thetis. And
yeah, it was
said,
just curious because when you left off at season 1, he was with Captain Maelstrom with the Tempest.
He was. And then 5 years went along, and then stuff happened with Lealton in the Mass Effect campaign, because he was sent on that one mission, and that sort of set him up. That actually mission for Lealton set him up to become a candidate under Divine Justinia's eyes.
Oh wow!
And that's based on how Lucky Jack role-played Lealton during the Mass Effect campaign. That's when I decided, okay, it makes sense for Lealton to get to this position because of Lucky Jack. So everything has consequences.
That's crazy
So-
cool.